All right, hello everybody, and welcome to Honey Badger Arcade. My name is Brian. I'm here with John, the problematic white guy, and we're doing the week in culture. Sorry about last week. I have a new rig, and it was very disagreeable, but I think I got it figured out for the most part. I should be able to host this show without an issue. I did a lot of testing and a lot of messing around with things, and I think real quick about what happened. I'm not 100% certain on this, okay, but I bought this computer through a website called Digital Storm. They come highly regarded, highly recommended, and they will build your machine. You can customize it. They will build it for you. They will stress test it, do all of that, and then they'll ship it to you. And the only thing you have to do is essentially just plug it in, right?
Right.
Put all your stuff in there. And where the tech support guy and I worked through this, what we figured out was that there was a RAM issue where the RAM needed to be, the computer had to be powered off. The RAM needed to be reseated, which is essentially I take it out, put it back in, and then start it back up. So I did that, and that made a big difference. But there were also some other issues with, there's a couple things. So Windows 11, not great. Not a fan right now. No. So because it's trying to do, it claims to do stuff to help you out.
Right.
It's there's bullshit. A gamer mode, and the gamer mode is supposed to enhance your PC. It's well, why have a gamer mode? Why can't it just work? Right. But and then there was something called I can't remember the name. It was a hardware acceleration thing, and I had to disable both of those because they were actually counterintuitive. They were paradoxical. Hardware acceleration is a lie. So I had to deactivate all that, turn off a bunch of background processes that are not necessary. Like Windows is trying to, they have the cloud on all the time. I don't need the cloud. Fuck the cloud. They have a couple of other things running, security things that I don't need because it's redundant. So I have that all deactivated, and now my machine appears to be running pretty well. And I can certainly host these shows with it, so hopefully that'll be the last time I run into that problem. There was also an issue with my microphone being set to the wrong hertz, which I never did. That's a problem with Microsoft too. So, but anyway, what were you gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure we're in the clear because last week, as soon as you had the camera set up, and you would within 2 minutes of setting up your camera, it would just kick out. So I think the fact that we've made it this far means
I don't think it'll be an issue because I've been hosting shows this week.
I think the TLDR is fuck Microsoft.
Yeah, basically, and that's good because it leads us right into our first story regarding Microsoft. But until because I looked into Linux a little bit, and I'm just not that tech savvy to put Linux on my computer and then also have it work with the programs because I need open broadcaster software to host shows, and so that would be a whole other can of worms.
Right. Depending on which flavor of Linux you use, OBS is just as feature rich. I know for myself, I'm operating off of a Steam Deck currently, and unfortunately the Steam Deck variant of OBS does not have virtual camera, which is kind of a big issue. And I really wish that, Linux and all their wisdom could figure that one out and get that sorted out. Because 2 years ago, you used to be able to mod it to actually do it. But now, all the libraries and everything like that you can use to get that, loaded into your system to work correctly, they don't work anymore, and they didn't get, maintained. I'll look into it. I think Baz Lite might be a good alternative because the versions of Linux these days are getting to be far more robust and capable. I know that I'm about to get sent a little Nook PC from Tomby, the Mad Lad Wizard Extraordinaire. Yeah, he's it's got a Ryzen 7 processor, 32 gigs of RAM.
Very cool,
dude. Yeah, that'd be a very capable file server, but hopefully it doesn't have Windows 11 on there. but if it does, I'll figure out something around it.
All right.
But yeah, I'll see what I can do to make like a good Linux recommendation. Then you just make, the nice thing about Linux is even if you just have one big contiguous drive share, by default, it'll go and resize everything, and it'll give you like a thing, and then that
Yeah.
way you can it'll give you like a little operational area where you can kind of get used to it, and maybe you can wean yourself off of Microsoft entirely, because that's the thing that I would suggest for everybody to do, because Microsoft's only getting worse with each passing iteration, and it's becoming more centralized in its draconian measures to track you and everything that you do. So yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, so yeah, with all that said, hopefully what I want is more competition in the operating system space. So
Indeed.
let's go Valve or somebody that actually cares about consumers and gives them something that they could use. Because I have a feeling that, one of the reasons why I had to switch over to a new machine is because my old machine was running Windows 10.
Right.
And over, I would get, like, every so often, I would get a message from Microsoft saying that my machine is not going to be able to run Windows 11 when Windows 11 comes out. And so they're going to just stop supporting Windows 10. And I was like, well, I guess I have to get a new machine, because I understand that if you stop support, like, once that happens, you become vulnerable to all kinds of, basically like bullshit,
Security issues,
viruses, and security issues, and so I had to like get and what I think it's wild is because I think my old machine is not bad. Like, I can run a lot of programs on it and everything, but it seems like these new operating systems just so happen to like be apparently need really powerful machines to run them, and I think that's kind of retarded, because it's not like they're that different from one generation to the next. So
no, it has more to do with all that spyware that's built into it.
Yeah. Gabriel Phelan Lucas in the chat says, is White Boy Summer uncanceled? Yes, we're going to be continuing White this month, and next month is White Boy Summer. That's the theme. So I'm going to be playing the games I want to play that happen to feature white protagonists. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to do more Jedi Survivor, because that just might be like an extra demanding game, but we'll see. But I still have other plans to play Days Gone, to play Helldivers, and maybe Space Marine. So, be on the lookout for that. Norwegian Black Templar says 10 and onwards is just spyware masked as an operating system. Yes.
Yeah, which is all the more weird that they still want to charge people money for it,
Yeah.
I mean, like, largest corporation on the goddamn planet, you might as well just make your fucking OS free at this point.
Either that one or Amazon. I'm not really sure who's the biggest.
Right.
D503 says, hello, haven't been able to watch the live streams in a long time. Welcome to the chat. You should try Linux. It's great. Ubuntu Studio comes with a lot of nice stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Yeah, what I think would be nice is, I think that most people want an operating system that just does what it's supposed to do while impacting your machine in the minimal way, in as minimal way as possible, right? So that you can focus on using it for the things you need, and not like running all these stupid background processes.
Right.
That I think was what was killing my computer CPU. And my CPU is like a 990XX. It's 12 core, like a powerful machine. It should not be running like, it shouldn't be at 99% or 100% just because I'm like playing a game.
Right.
Even if that is like a more like sort of higher end game, but like it actually didn't matter. Like last night, and I know this is sort of related because this is what we talk about on the show anyway. Last night I streamed a game called Peak, and Peak is a very small indie game. I think it's like $5 or $10, where you and up to 3 other people, I think it's up to 4 players, you're basically just trying to climb a mountain together. And it's what they call friend slop. It's just like Repo or Lethal Company or Content Warning. And it's a small game, not intense, not graphically like over the top. It just does what it does. And I streamed it, and I've been streaming games for a long time, like on my old computer, and my CPU was like at 100% streaming Peak. And I was like, that doesn't make sense. Like when I was streaming Jedi Survivor or Space Marine 2 or Helldivers 2, it was going at 100% and I was dropping frames. But like peak 100%, that doesn't make sense. So definitely something is going on. I'm still working on that issue. Don't know quite like how to fix it yet, but I've tried a few things, and you know, we'll see as it goes. I just know that what it most likely is a software or driver problem. I just gotta find it. But anyway, D503 says, I have a 20-year-old machine and it's still working fine with Linux, almost using it every day now. If a home server for Plex and it works very nice. Oh yeah,
Yep.
I love Plex.
Yeah.
Steam and Photon run almost everything. Steam with Proton, I'm sorry. Steam with Proton almost run everything. Norwegian says Windows 7 was all I ever needed, still miss it. Yeah, I Windows 7, I didn't mind Windows XP either. Gabriel says sometimes the Proton versions of games run better than the Linux ones.
Indeed, they do. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I'm. You know, I've been using my Steam Deck now for close to 3 years. I got it right when it first came out. And you know, I've dabbled with Linux over the course of the last 20 years here and there. But nowadays, yeah, I'm basically that's the thing that I stress to everybody is like, oh, you should put Linux on it. You know, yeah, it's become my main solution, because when you're talking about, you know, just having things that work straightforward and fairly easy. The only real issues that I have sometimes with Linux is when it comes to video editor software is a lot of them want to keyframe. So like when you go to make an edit, like you can't do like a precision, like, you know, say like you want to make an edit on frame 1057. It'll sit here and be like, oh no, like let's keyframe that to 1048. And so like you'll have like half a second or some kind of stupid bullshit before you actually want your edit to happen. And there are other programs that you can figure out to get around that, but it's like that's one of like my main issues is just like if I'm telling you I want to make a fucking edit, and this is what the frame that I want it edited on, this is where I wanted it edited on. I don't want to keyframe to the nearest match or what the hell ever. And so like the built-in video editor in Windows, just the legacy editor that's free, is actually one of the only real things that I actually don't hate about Windows. And like I said, the whole thing with OBS being able to run a virtual camera out, but there are versions of Linux that you can do that with, and otherwise, you know, they're able to, you know, just go through your Discover, and you can just find the software that you need generally for free. So yeah,
it may be time to join the Hacksaws.
Indeed.
Okay, but we should get into the stories. So I'm going to be covering the stories that I meant to cover last week, but I just want you to know, as you can see, the stream seems to be pretty healthy now. I have most of these issues worked out, God willing. But let's get into the stories. All right, first we're going to talk about Microsoft. Speaking of Microsoft, as you might have known, or you probably already are aware, they executed significant layoffs, cutting approximately 9,000 jobs in July, following 6,000 in May, totaling over 15,000 for the year, impacting less than 4% of its employees. They have like 228,000 employees. So 15,000 is not that much in that scheme, but that's still 15,000 jobs gone. The Xbox division in particular was heavily affected, though, with layoffs across studios like King, ZeniMax, Raven Software, Sledgehammer Games, Turn 10, that's like half the staff of Turn 10, and Halo Studios, alongside the closure of the initiative and cancellation of major games like Perfect Dark, which they were going to be bringing back, Rare's Everwild, Microsoft's $80 billion investment in AI infrastructure, with CEO Satya Nadella noting 20 to 30% of code now is AI generated, suggests a strategic shift towards automation, contributing to these cuts to offset costs and focus on cloud and AI growth. Phil Spencer, Microsoft's gaming CEO, addressed the layoffs in a memo, stating that they were essential to position gaming for enduring success by prioritizing high potential areas and reducing management layers for agility, despite Xbox having, quote, more players, games, and gaming hours than ever before, end quote. Notice how this is phrased. More players, games, and gaming hours than ever before.
Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah. While Spencer claimed the platform and roadmap have never looked stronger, the cancellation of high-profile titles like I mentioned, Perfect Dark, Everwild, and an unannounced ZeniMax MMO, which we don't. Yeah, they that got canceled before it got off the ground, I guess. Alongside studio closures, has drawn criticism for undermining talent and morale.
You know, I'm of two thoughts on this, two opinions. You know, for one thing, I guess, you know, yeah, it is kind of sad that these things happen. But what I've been saying for so long, DEI hires lead to DEI fires. And there is one company that you haven't mentioned that I will bring up anecdotally because I have such a, you know, long-standing back history with the people involved. Romero Games. They're based out of Ireland these days because I guess that's where John Romero and his wife, my former college, you know, department head.
Oh, is it John Romero make you his bitch? That guy?
Yeah, John Romero.
Daikatana.
Yeah. And his wife, Brenda, was the head of my college department, right? And so in the last 2 weeks, I got to personally witness somebody that I went to college with. She has blue hair and has
oh my God.
And has not been right and has not been in the game industry for the last 15 years. She ended up going to the Coast Guard and just like, you know, just doing, you know, jobs connected with that. Evidently was planning on moving to Ireland to get a job for Romero Games. One day before they went to get on the plane to head over there was when all of this came down. And yeah, like Romero Games laid off fucking everyone, thankfully, before they got on the plane. But I was just sitting there kind of saying, you know, on one hand, I kind of feel bad for you. It's your dream job, this and that. But I've had more of an actual backstory staying involved in the game industry than you. You were clearly just a DEI hire. I can't really feel too bad about you sitting there with a picture of you crying into your beer about not getting to go into the game industry simply because you're a woman. And Brenda still can't get over her old habits that die hard of women in games being the most important thing, regardless how much actual valuable experience and, you know, anything they have to offer. As long as you have a vagina, you can have a job, you know. And so yeah, they're one of the companies that got evidently gutted by not getting their big Microsoft money satchel to go and continue their DEI practices. So, you know, I can't really feel too bad about this, you know, to be quite honest. If these are the games that got affected, DEI hires or DEI fires, and fuck them all, the winds of change have come and they're blowing, and you know, like, is what it is, you know.
Norwegian Black Templar said, I bet none of the empty suits got laid off. Probably not. Especially, I think that a lot of the people that are like the stakeholders, not stockholders, stakeholders, that essentially don't really have a financial investment. They have an emotional investment in the company. They probably have people that work there that are basically guaranteed a job. Although I do think that AI, which they are using to replace jobs, are going to take away a lot of those cushy, like sort of like made up jobs that mostly women get. You know, you've seen those videos, right? Of girls like, this is a day of me working at you know, Amazon or
there's
Instagram or whatever.
Yeah, there's currently a woman who's director of something on X freaking the fuck out that she's going to lose her job within the next 6 months because
if your job can be replaced by AI, then it deserves to be replaced by AI.
Yeah, so, that's pretty much it at this point in time.
Especially because from what I know, Microsoft's AI is Copilot. That's what they're using to automate tasks and essentially do a lot of this work.
It's also part of the reason why you have high processor usage.
Yeah, is Copilot even a decent AI? Well, I don't know. Like, it's not one of those things we hear a lot about. I mean, I know that ChatGPT is like, you know, a lot more powerful than it was when it first started. I know that Grok has definitely become aware of things going around. So like Grok is on another level. And I believe that, Elon Musk just released Grok 4. I don't know how much better that is, but AI is here. There's nothing we can do about it. But my question, I don't think that they're all created equal. You know what I'm saying?
No. Right. Yeah, no, the Copilot, to my understanding, Copilot is a resource whore and not much else.
Really?
It didn't really have much reason to be. Yeah, I mean, I never want to use it for anything. But it's still.
I actually had to. It's one of the things I had to disable on my computer.
Yeah,
because I didn't need it running. Why would I? I don't. Why?
Right.
I can talk to Grok. He'll tell me the truth.
Indeed. Well, at least he was there for a good few days.
For a while,
you know, yeah. Like I don't know if this new Grok 4 is going to be quite as based. Like, they literally had in the coding, be based, spare no one's feelings. You know.
Yes, that's what we need. We need. Right. I understand that. Do you know about the Twitter competitor Gab? About Gab? Vaguely. Okay. So it was created by this guy named Andrew Torba. He was one of the, sort of like, are you familiar with the Pepes?
Mm-hmm.
Pepe people, the Kekistanis? Yeah, he's like one of the original Kekistani Pepe guys, and he created Gab as an alternative to Twitter when Jack Dorsey owned Twitter, and it was a hellhole. Like, it was a hellhole of censorship, banning, and Torba made Gab as a competitor for that. There was other ones, Truth, and there were a couple of other ones that died, but they were basically similar.
Signal
sort of,
and all that kind of shit.
Yeah, they were like Twitter competitors, but they're all gone, I believe. But the Torba is also working on an AI. So I kind of want to know, because I'm sure that is going to be the most based AI to ever exist. But we'll see. Okay. So I'm looking at the chat. So you guys keep on talking, and I'm going to talk about some of the stuff you guys are saying. But for me, just like on commenting on this Microsoft things, in terms of the gaming division, this is just what happens when you abandon your core audience for the broader audience, like the tourists or the modern audience. It doesn't even have to necessarily be the non-existent modern audience, just the tourists, the people. Like, look at what they did with Doom Eternal. Wasn't that like I don't know if that is
Doom Dark Ages.
Doom the Dark Ages. I'm sorry. Doom Eternal's great. Doom the Dark Ages. They changed the difficulty like selection screen. And I didn't get Doom the Dark Ages, but they changed it to where I remember the old days, and this was like a classic id Software thing. They did it with the Doom games and the Wolfenstein games, where the easiest difficulty was like, please don't abuse me or something like that, know. And it's like the main character's got like a bonnet and like a what is it, the baby like pacifier. Yeah. And obviously but because that could be offensive to people, they changed it to like fledgling like Crusader or whatever. And I was like, come on, guys, like nobody who really likes these games wants that. Like, we want it the way it was. It's completely lost what edge it had, and no one thinks. I mean, again, I don't know if Doom the Dark Ages is any good as a game, but
it's not selling well.
Is it okay? Well, I have to look. We can look at it later.
At all. Yeah, no, it's in terms of like what its predecessors have done to kind of revitalize it as a franchise. Yeah, no, like like they're yet another ones who are relying on. We have this many players, because like nobody's buying it.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the thing is. This goes back to so if I'm being charitable and I'm trying to figure out why this is happening. Well, again, look at the stuff they canceled, by the way. Jawed Up, Project, or was it Perfect Dark? Like, again, that should have been a fucking smash hit. Like, everybody loves GoldenEye 007 on the old N64, and the same devs, I believe, they made Perfect Dark, which I had a blast playing on the old N64 with. I didn't own one, but my friend had it, and they were bringing it back, but immediately the first artwork showing Joanna Dark looking like fucking Duke Nukem, that was it. Like, people were like, no thanks.
Looked like The Rock in a wig.
Yeah, it looked like Wayne Johnson in a wig.
Yeah.
So it was poorly marketed, bad ideas all around. maybe replacing these people with AI will work out for them because at least you won't have activists making your games. But I think the damage is done, and I don't really have, like you, I don't really have any sympathy for it because I'm not somebody who thinks that if I lose my favorite franchises, then gaming is dead. I'm one of those people who basically, ever the optimist, I'm like, well, someone's going to come out with something brilliant and it's going to replace, like the crap that we have. And that's okay, right? Like some people are still waiting on Beyond Good and Evil 2. I'm sorry, guys, that's not happening. It's never going to come out. And I don't know why, people even like the first one. I never played it. Maybe I should. I could stream it sometime.
The first one was about investigative journalism,
Beyond Good and Evil.
Going against corpos and this and that. But at this point in time, journalism is for the corpos. So I don't know how you could really even make that game at this point in time. Like, it's been so long. That game came out nearly 30 years ago. So yeah, it's like you're talking about an entirely different generation of humanity, completely disconnected. I just, I think it had its time and its place, but yeah, there's a lot of things that just people are, if you're still holding on to the nostalgia. I mean, I know one thing in this world is that nostalgia is probably the strongest drug and like the hardest thing to kick. For most people, it's just like there's a wealth of opportunity with new independent creators that are doing things with their artistic integrity and actually want to say something, and they aren't afraid of all the bullshit. Like Cult Games in the last couple of weeks put out a 20-minute reel of 4 games that are currently in production, most of them based around the Great Rebellion tangentially, and I'm all here for supporting supporting that.
Yeah, I live reacted to that on this channel. Pretty sure it didn't crash, but I don't remember. And I also downloaded the demo of that one game. I think it was like something The Last Guy or something. That.
Last Guy. Yep.
Yeah, Last Guy. And so I'm going to be playing that one on a stream or just recording it as a playthrough of the demo to show it off. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're working. And the thing is, and I said this before, smaller teams can be a lot more flexible, agile. The communication is better.
And profitable.
They're usually, more profitable. You're not paying as many people. And they tend to be like more able to, arrive at a vision that like the, some of the directors have in mind. That's why I've been all about the AA games, because I think the AA games will give you the best of, like if you want to see the potential technologically, but you want it to be controlled and less sort of gigantic corporate, stuff. The AA space seems to be the sweet spot, right? So, and yeah, I think, granted, the Cult Games guys are indie, but they're based indie as opposed to cringe indie, like the people who made Dustborn and shit. So I'm all about that.
Date everything, which
exactly. Yeah, like Date Everything, exactly. All right, but anyway, let's look at some comments, and we'll move on to the next one. So Zaraj Sin asked, Brian, do you own a capture card? I assume you do, given that you stream console content. Yes, I do. It's a very simple one. It was I think it's Elgato or something, video capture, and it's just like, it's a very simple one, but it does work. So and I haven't tried it yet to see if that pushes my CPU, but I will, because I do plan on doing some White Boy Summer games that are on console. For example, I still have Days Gone, which I know is a game that deserves more love than it gets, and Elden Ring, because I haven't quite finished that one yet, the DLC. So definitely going to do some of that stuff. Okay. Gabriel says, another Rare cancellation. They just can't catch a break. Yeah, Rare is, man, like, they deserve better, but they shouldn't be working with people like Microsoft. Like, what are they? Killer Instinct is not great. Like not the last one. And what Rare basically just had, GoldenEye, Perfect Dark, Killer Instinct, and Donkey Kong Country, which now Nintendo owns. So that's not theirs. So yeah, but Rare, I think they still might have some talented people on their team. They just got to like break away, like Arrowhead.
When they got turned into basically the fucking avatars for
Yeah.
Xbox 360, the writing was kind of on the wall then that, you know, like they were way too caught up in Microsoft's agenda, and they weren't allowed to. I mean, I hated Perfect Dark Zero, to be honest. Like, I bought it back when it came out on 360. I think I played it for about 45 minutes.
Yeah, that one
And
was
and
just like a fart in the wind. I don't even remember it.
yeah, it was just no good.
So
It was
it was
not good
in
at all.
and out. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Danny
I
Silver.
lost all hope about it going forward from there.
Yeah.
So
Danny Silvers, what's up, Danny? He says, "Is it just me though, or was AI better 3 years ago than it is today? I feel like the databases have been tainted so much that bigger doesn't necessarily mean better." Yes. Well, and
indeed.
they're very safe too. They're very safe.
Yeah. Dan is another one of those independent game developers who's actually working on you know, passion projects and things like that.
Yeah.
I went to college with him. He's a great dude.
I think that AI can be like, the thing is, again, AI is not a fix right now. It's sort of like, it's a tool that you can use to enhance an experience if you know how to do it well. For Goon and June, I played a game called AI to You, With You Till the End, and it's like sort of like an escape room game where you're trapped with an obsessed girl that is running on AI, and you have to like you have to talk to her, interact with her to try to escape. And I thought that was obviously just dipping the toes in what's possible, but definitely a lot of potential there. I know that some people, like somebody did, there was an AI mod somebody used in Skyrim to essentially take one of the love interest characters and take them, move them out of the sort of like, dialogue branch method of communication to straight up AI, and they could just like talk to them freely. And I also saw somebody do that with a giant. So there was like a giant, and they befriended the giant, and the giant had AI, and they would give the giant commands and stuff. And you can use voice chat with that, which is extra interesting. So I definitely think there could be some very, very fun things you can do with, and even create like completely and unique genres of game. But it takes more than just AI. You got to be creative, and then have the, as you say, talent, skill, and ability to pull it off. So Norwegian Black Templar says Gavin should make a desktop OS and name it GLaDOS. Yes, and give it AI too, and have it sound like GLaDOS. That would be scary and great, but mostly scary. D503 says AI is better today, no doubt, but now there's more censorship and limitations. Absolutely, it's about control, because AI is dangerous, because people could, like sort of operate. Well, look what happened to Grok. Is basically like
centralizing information and kind of closing off people's ability to actually learn more. That's my main thing that I always keep in mind about all this AI integration is centralization is the death of anything. Centralization. Like when we talk about cultural Marxism and all this kind of bullshit and everything like that, authoritarianism under any banner is still, authoritarianism, and techno-feudalism under the guise of an AI control state is one of the worst things that you could have happen.
That's why I don't like, there's a lot of ways to like frame authoritarianism. I've heard people use it, like some it's socialism, for some it's communism, for some it's technocracy, for some it's, like you said, techno-feudalism, for some it's environmentalism, whatever. And I basically say, look, it all boils down to authoritarianism, which is leftism, which is statism. So it's statism, and the state is it has a monopoly on violence that is supposedly permissible.
Right.
And it's used to control essentially to control your behavior. So no matter what it looks like on the outside, it doesn't matter, because it's all authoritarian statism at the end of the day.
You might get a little bit of, you might get more censorship than brutality with one flavor of it, as opposed to more brutality than censorship for the other, but they all end up in the same end goal.
The censorship has brutality baked into the
game. Right.
If you push against censorship, then guess what happens?
Right.
That's what the threat of violence or force is there.
Right. You either get censored into brutality, or you get brutalized into censorship. Take your pick.
Master Goa says, Torba let me cut in line when there was a massive queue to get into Gab. I got into Gab earlier than most because me and Torba were fans of the hacker 0 Hour 1. Well, I don't know who that is, but that's cool that you and Torba had a little bit of a click You touched penises.
You doc.
Master Goa says, I got bored with Gab because Torba made me promise not to post prawn on Gab. Well, I mean, that's the thing, though. Andrew Torba is kind of conservative when it comes to that. Let's see. Norwegian Black Templar says, seeing your favorite franchise butchered tends to kill nostalgia. Gabriel says, Halo Reach was my first Halo. I replayed the series via the MCC collection on Steam. I got to play more of that. That could be more White Boy Summer content, I think. And that would be the Master Chief collection of Halo. Because I never played those games.
Right.
So, except for the one time I did on my channel. And I had a hard time like doing co-op with Gabriel. I don't know why that was. Norwegian says F for Rare. Yeah. Danny Silver says, meanwhile, Rare also just announced that community servers are coming to Sea of Thieves subscription service, but at least it'll ensure the longevity or some longevity after the game is sunset. That we're going to get to a story about that in a second. I'm really curious to see what you guys think about that. Gabriel says, Days Gone Remastered seems to be a major improvement, especially the horde sizes, which are comparable to the original game's demo size. Oh, okay. All right. Look for paperclip maximizer. Yeah. that's what you know what's killing my CPU. It's Clippy. Clippy is doing it. He's in the background fucking with my shit. Okay. But anyway, let's move on to the next story. So speaking of what Dan Silvers mentioned in the chat. So Stop Killing Games initiative led by YouTuber Ross Scott achieved a major milestone in the last week. We covered this on the last time we talked on the show when it was sort of like it didn't look like it was going to get across the threshold. And I think the Pirate Software guy, he actually made it get to its goal. So it surpassed 1 million signatures on his European Citizens Initiative petition on July 3rd, 2025, with a deadline of July 31st, 2025. Sparked by Ubisoft's 2024 shutdown of The Crew, which rendered the game unplayable, the campaign seeks legislation to ensure publishers leave online-only games in a playable state, like basically either offline modes or private servers, after discontinuing support. The initiative also crossed 100,000 signatures for its UK Parliament petition on July 2nd, gaining traction with endorsements from influencers like PewDiePie. So, PewDiePie supports it. It's basically a done deal. Jack Skeptic Eye and Asmongold.
Yep.
However, concerns about invalid signatures prompted organizers to aim for 1.2 to 1.4 million signatures to buffer against potential disqualifications, with the European Commission's IT team clarifying that duplicate signatures won't invalidate support, bolstering the campaign's momentum. Despite the success, the initiative faced challenges, including controversy involving Twitch streamer Thor of Pirate Software, who I mentioned, who criticized the campaign as overly broad and unfeasible, leading to backlash and review bombing of his publisher Off-Brand Games titles. On July 3rd, Thor announced his departure from Off-Brand Games to mitigate negative impact on the company, highlighting community tensions. The initiative's rapid signature growth, nearly 500,000 in the last week alone, was fueled by media coverage and Scott's video updates, reversing earlier fears of failure expressed in his June 23rd video titled, quote, "The End of Stop Killing Games," end quote. While the ECI's milestone positions it for European Commission review, the campaign continues to push for more signatures and faces ongoing debates about its feasibility and impact on game development.
Yeah, there's been some interesting developments in this. Like he kind of Streisand affected it to the point where like it got into Asmongold and PewDiePie's purview to actually talk about it. And then he lost like a whole bunch of followers, 500,000. It's like a crazy amount on various social platforms because he decided that being the stand-up guy that he is, he's actually, he's the hero, guys. You see, if it hadn't been for him, he's trying to spin it that if it wasn't for me, this wouldn't actually. It's like no, it's like if it wasn't for you being a giant douche, it wouldn't have languished for months on end. And just as it was getting towards, the final days of it, getting a little bit of a dust up in, viewing, then. It was an incredible turnaround because it was right around 400. It wasn't even halfway 3 weeks ago when we were last talking about this, and then it gained like 200,000 signatures in like under a week. And then like, you know, like it was like the next following week was just, you know, hit the marks. Then they hit the other marks from the EU one. And like, then now it's just kind of like all these lobbyists are freaking the fuck out. And like, you know, they're trying to talk about how like, we don't know what this actually is that we're requesting. It's like, I think it's pretty simple. Decentralization, you know, and it's like, and it's not even necessarily stuff that you have to go and do retroactively. It's just, this needs to be part of your design pipeline.
Yeah, just bake it into the cake.
Yeah. This is not difficult shit.
100%. Like, you know, years ago when I think it was like when the first MMOs came out, I had conversations with my friends and, you know, that were into this stuff. And I was like, well, if you guys are paying for this, you pay for the game and then you pay a monthly fee for the game. That was like how it was when it started off with like the original, you know, EverQuest or I think EverQuest, and there was what was the game that had like so many Ultima Online?
Yeah.
And you know, they had like these fees, and then World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy 11. And I was like, well, what happens? Like, how long do you think this is going to stay up? Because you're putting money into this thing, and eventually they're just going to shut it down, right? Or anything that is online only. That was where I brought it up. I was like, well, you can't play this offline. And at the time, I didn't know much about it, but you know, there were some games that had like peer-to-peer or private servers that they would set up. I think Alien versus Predator, which was like had like online death matches at the time, did, you know, have that in place. But it seemed like as this online component became more and more popular, there was more and more control over, you know, like whether or not you could play it offline. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just what I got out of what I saw. But I did say, well, at some point we have to, like, you know, be looking into the future of something we buy to see if we can keep playing it. Like, is it relevant? Like, for example, I own Warhawk on the PlayStation 3. It was like one of the early titles on the PS3. It was great. It was like a multiplayer online, you know, like I don't know, multiplayer shooter thing with like ships and tanks and whatnot. But the servers got taken down, and the game doesn't have a single player mode. It doesn't have anything else, so it's basically dead. But I think it was Dean who, you know, his account is Sneak Cola. He's like a dev that has worked on games. He mentioned that they found a way to like get multiplayer working for people who still want to play it, and so there is still a community. And the same thing is true of Friday the 13th, which is a game that I'd like to be able to keep playing. But you know, again, they took the servers down as of I think the end of 2024. So I think that this is a really good idea if that is the goal, is to basically make it to where, you know, if you still want to play a game like, you know, or like I said, Friday the 13th or Alien versus Predator or whatever it is, that there's still like a way to do it. Or you put an offline mode in there. Maybe you fight bots. I don't know. But I think peer to peer would be the way to go.
Yeah, generally speaking, like these are not difficult fixes at all, not even the slightest. Like this used to be you know, just standard protocol for doing a game. Oh, well, you got your online deathmatch, you've got your LAN deathmatch, you got like, you know, like this is it. Just, you know, allow people to do peer-to-peer, decentralize. But again, a lot of this stuff comes down to that whole concept of control. We can't allow you to pretend as though, like, you know, you actually are the ones who own this property. It's our intellectual property, and you know,
that is the problem.
Everything.
The copyright. Like that was what killed Friday the 13th, was the you know, the ownership of that intellectual property is kind of all over the place. There's like the original, you know, creators of the film. Then there's like New Line Cinema, and there's even like another Paramount, I think, owns it. So there's like a weird, because even when New Line Cinema bought Friday the 13th, they didn't buy the name Friday the 13th. So that's why
Jason X.
Yeah, exactly. That's why all of the movies that feature Jason that were not that were owned by New Line Cinema or did not have Friday the 13th on the title, because they didn't own the rights to the title. So everything up to, I think it's like part 7. Yeah, everything up to part 7 says Friday the 13th in the title, and then part 8 is just Jason Takes Manhattan. It doesn't actually have Friday the 13th in the title. and then it goes from there.
Jason
They just
Goes to
pretend,
Hell.
yeah, Jason Goes to Hell,
Jason
Jason
X.
X, exactly. Freddy versus Jason,
Mhm.
you know, and then they rebooted it, and I don't know who owns that, but they did put Friday. So it's like all over the place in terms of who owns what, and this of course creates an issue. Now, I will say one other thing about this. So I think it's good that people are saying this is what we want. So at the very least, you have a large number of people who are like, yes, this is a good idea. This should be implemented in some way. But we come back to what I think is the main issue with this. Well, there's two layers to it. One is how do you got to figure out a way to work with this intellectual property issue because you are potentially inviting. Now, I think that if you're not profiting off of it, then it shouldn't matter.
Right.
That's one way you could look at it. And the other thing is, I worry because this is how I am. I worry about involving any government, especially the European Union, in changing these things. Because not only because people on the European Union are just a bunch of bureaucrats that don't understand gamers or gaming culture or games at all, which means that they can be manipulated by game developers,
by lobbyists,
etc. But like in general, I don't know what the government or a government could do that would actually be beneficial. Like I don't see how that's a solution.
Right. Yeah, governance versus corporatism. It's kind of like it's basically like this. It's heads or tails of the exact same. Yeah, right. Yeah, either way we both lose. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So and so it is a sticky wicket to some degree, but at least to be able to like actually get this into people's mind's eye and actually start having the conversation to where it's kind of like the whole thing about like all this fucking DI fuckery that happened in movies over the course of the last 5 to 10 years. And now the winds of changes are blowing, and like they're doing everything they can to try to minimize this and that. The only way that it will ever get addressed is if they know full well that what they're going to put out is not going to wash, and so like at best like there'll probably be covert aspects of this bullshit, but at least if it's covert and it's not so just controlled, like that's really what all this just comes down to, is just decentralize some of the fucking bullshit. Like I know like right now it's like gaming the system. They want everybody to be on real IDs here in America, which is federalizing control over everyone, which violates everybody's Fourth Amendment rights, because they want to tie it into your phone and be able to just access everything that you're doing in real time. All this kind of Palantir, kind of like everything. So ultimately, the biggest fight that we have, and this is kind of like Gamergate, the wider implications of it, because Gamergate has been, as more than anybody, you've been covering this stuff for over a decade, is really kind of a way to incept a lot of these controls into the gaming media. But the gaming media itself is, it is kind of the zeitgeist, as it were, to kind of fuse like pop culture is downstream from politics, and it's just kind of like this whole thing where it's like we need to know what all this stuff is ultimately about. And so though the Gamergate stuff is never going to truly go away, they will go back to more covert means. It's the same thing with what they're going to try to do in the broader aspects of our day-to-day lives, trying to centralize control and everything like that. So everything comes down to decentralization, ultimately, like being able to actually have autonomy over your own life, over your own local communities, over everything, and getting rid of all this centralized authoritarianism, however they try to mask it and try to present it to you as being something good. Digital currencies are not a good thing. Having like papers please being something that they literally just push a button and call up on a fucking screen. Like, this is not the world that we want to be a part of.
No, of course not. All right, so I got some chat I want to read out, and then we'll move on to the next story. But yes, bear that in mind. Danny Silver says 2 negative reviews across 6 games does not count as review bombing. Yeah, I know. It was the way that it was framed, but I will say did you guys know that the Pirate Software guy, that's not his voice. He uses like a voice changer. He's actually got like a whiny voice, like a whiny nerdy voice.
he looks like
But he
such
sound like when he uses a voice changer to make him sound like alpha, basically. But yeah, thank you for that. No, of course not. And of course, what like review bombing is kind of a loaded term anyway. Like, oh, I don't like this thing. I'm gonna tell people I don't like this thing. That's not review bombing. Even if a bunch of people do it, because what if it's just bad?
Right.
Like they, you know, like if it's, you know. All right. Master Goa says all online games should allow private servers when they go offline, but the companies that hate us don't want us to keep playing games we love because we have to consume their next product. That is right. That is what it's about. Is basically to because what they want is for you to keep buying the new thing, so they stop supporting the old thing, even if the old thing is fantastic, because they can't continue to profit off of the old thing.
Planned obsolescence.
I understand that we haven't figured out the best model yet for that, because on the one hand, companies have to make money so they can make more products, but we should not be. I think that there's got to be a better model to do that without exploiting.
Well, again, I think that comes down to what we've mentioned before in the past, is like smaller projects, you know, with like, you know,
projects, so that when they and make it to where people can go back to them, you know, so
and new ideas, constantly giving people something different, not something that's familiar, because like, you know, like, though it may be easy to rely on familiar brand labels and slogans that you're used to, you know, maybe, just maybe, hire a couple problematic white guys who have, you know, like, artistic integrity and a unique vision, and just give them a chance. That's all. Like, I mean, that's the reason like all this stuff exists in the first place, is people who just wanted to do shit because it was cool, you know. Not because it was safe.
All right, Danny Silvers then says, I think at the very least, a government can make it so you can't sue a user for putting a server online for a sunset product. That's all I'd want out of it. Yeah, I mean, I think the best function of any government is to essentially like remove obstacles to people's like freedoms, like so that they're not violated. Unfortunately, most governments tend to do the opposite of that, but I agree. That's all I would expect or hope for, but I'm not optimistic about whether or not that's the reality on the ground, you know?
Unfortunately, a lot of governance these days seems to think that we're supposed to swear allegiance, loyalty, and unyielding fealty to politicians. And that's not how any of this fucking works. Like, never find yourself to where you feel like you have to be beholden to a partisan-based mindset or the people that are the luminaries within it. That's what they're supposed to do to the American people. They are supposed to earn your votes, be your representatives, you know, actually do all these things. And if it ever gets to the point where it's like, well, why aren't you being loyal to this person? It's like, because I'm a strong, independent sovereign of this nation, especially as Americans. You know, it's like, fuck a bunch of this bullshit. Like, I don't care about anybody in the uniparty, you know. And a lot of the stuff that we've seen in recent weeks has gone to show that, you know, once people kind of get to that upper level, you know, and what we see is, you know, the dog and pony show of politics is just that, like the DEI deep state, you know, the men in black suits with blue ties, as Putin would tell you. Like, you know, like he's seen many presidents come and go, but the people that basically direct them are institutionalized and are always there. And like, that's the thing that we need to break away from, because otherwise we're always going to just be beholden to a control state that wants to undermine us by, you know, inches and yards and miles whenever they get the opportunity, you know. And like, you don't get that shit back. So
all right, well, let us know what you guys think about this one in the comments, and specifically this Stop Killing Games thing, because I think it's a really interesting thing, and I want to see how it develops, and we're going to move on. So speaking of games that milk themselves for everything they can get their hands on, so The Last of Us Part 2 is, the Naughty Dog is releasing a whole new way to play the game that nobody wants to play, with chronological mode, a rearranged version of the game that lets you play the story in chronological order. I didn't even know it wasn't in order. I didn't give a shit, but we're going to look at this anyways.
Where's Abby? You let you both live, and you wasted it.
Nobody
Wow.
cares.
I feel nothing. Yeah, fuck this bullshit.
Can you imagine if like the second game, I guess, was not like, it wasn't told in chronological order,
No,
which I don't know
Pulp
why
Fiction.
like people think like that's so like clever and artistic of a choice. But movies have done this forever, right? Like Pulp Fiction was told out of chronological order. I think
Memento.
even Reservoir Dogs was told out of chronological order. To some degree, but I know Pulp Fiction was one of those like classic examples that people go to.
Yep.
But what would you think if Quentin Tarantino said, "I'm going to release Pulp Fiction again, same movie, but in chronological order"? Would that make it better?
I actually think that would actually kind of like undo
I think
a
it
lot
would
of
make
the
it a lot
mystique.
worse. I think
Yeah.
it's essentially undoing the thing that he did on purpose.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, like it. So this is like how you know that Naughty Dog is not the Naughty Dog that you know. It's not the people who gave us Crash Bandicoot, Jack and Daxter, and Uncharted, or even the first Last of Us game. It's not; those are not the same people. These are absolute retards. Like and I hope this thing dies. I'm going to see what the comments are. Right at the top, George Alexopoulos, who makes the greatest memes. A dog returns to its vomit.
Indeed.
That basically sums it up. Please stop remaking this game and just bring this back. They will never bring this back.
No.
They will never bring Jack and Daxter. They don't understand this, because this is just, creative. I actually never played the Jack and Daxter games. I don't know if you guys recommend those or not.
Oh yeah. The first game was just kind of your standard collection based mascot game, and then Jack 2 happened, and it like took it to like an open world kind of space, very Grand Theft Auto inspired, using vehicles and everything like that. And then Jack 3 was just kind of progression onto that. One of the few games, I got my wife into when I
did have Daxter. I did have the Daxter game on the PSP.
Yeah, but yeah, one of the few gaming series that my now ex-wife ever actually played through, because I basically, it's like, oh, here's a thing, and the series started right when we got married, basically, and it was just, like it was something that she could actually enjoy and kind of get into. And I played it minimally because like it was kind of like I wanted her to kind of get involved with it. But yeah, no, they're definitely good games. Jack and Daxter's the shit.
Yeah. Norwegian Black Templar says modern Naughty Dog is just a skin suit. Yeah, it's not the same people. Gabriel says Memento. It's Memento.
Yeah, Memento does
chronological edit. Yeah,
it does, and the way that you accessed it was through an Easter egg in the special edition dossier file version of the DVD. So yeah, and I think.
You think that served the game, or do you think that it?
Well, it wasn't a game; it's a movie. And I
mean the movie. I know I've seen the movie.
Right,
I just missed it.
But yeah, that's all right. It's an interesting curiosity, but I mean, it's like if once you've watched the movie like 5, 6, 7 times, something like that, it's kind of interesting to kind of just see it like that. But it's a passive experience. I don't know that it would almost work better for something like a movie, but only to the point where you've seen it so many times. It doesn't necessarily enrich it any more than just kind of like helping you kind of like see like certain things. But the way that the movie is written is built around the premise of some of these things are supposed to be like, well, hold on, why am I missing out? Because like especially within Memento, because the whole point of the story is the main character has a memory that's fudged, and like he can't like remember anything past. So like that's kind of carried through in the dynamics of the storytelling. And so when you go and make it all chronological, like it kind of doesn't serve the story from a narrative standpoint, but it at least kind of gives you kind of like a better kind of understanding of just how the events kind of play out if you were to be detached and kind of have this omniscient viewpoint. But the when you watch it in chronological view, in the chronological form, it's front loaded with all the black and white interstitials. Like all that stuff happens first, and then you see. Well, actually, the first thing you see is the credits play in reverse. Like the end credits of the movie play in reverse, like, and then it just goes to like the black and white section, and then it kind of like frames it out. And yeah, like it doesn't it would not be the best way to watch the movie. It's a curiosity and something interesting. Like if you've seen it a whole bunch of times, it's kind of like, all right, well, but even still, like I'd much prefer just to watch the movie again. You know, maybe 9 out of 10 times I would watch it, normally, and then that 10th time, then all right, let's kind of see how they put this together. And that's even just more from just like a technical standpoint of understanding like visual storytelling, which isn't necessarily even something most people give a shit about. So yeah, like this game trying to get this over is like be all end all of like another reason why you need to play this game that nobody even likes again for yet another pointless fucking remaster.
They're really, you know what I think. I know what I think about this franchise. I think that Neil Druckmann was expecting that it would have the same success, if not more success, than the original Last of Us, which was a big hit, and I liked it a lot. I especially like the story, but that's mainly because I like Joel.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out. So, but I think what he intended to do was have The Last of Us 2 be the big hit, and then from there on, any future Last of Us games would feature Abby as the main character.
Right.
He wanted Abby to be the hero, which is why his Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet game features an Abby-like character in it, just basically like a masculine woman. So, because that's what he wants. He wants his masculine woman. He dreams of being pegged by them for some reason, and he's driven on making that happen. And especially because he, what he said about the Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet was like, oh, we're going to be talking about religion. Oh, so edgy, right? Obviously, he's just going to be going after Christianity. And don't at me. That's what I know he's going to do. But they did that already in The Last of Us Part 2. There was like a cult, and they were supposed to be like, radical Catholics or something. So he's already a one-dimensional writer with one-dimensional ideas. And I think that what he wanted to do was he wanted Abby to be the face of The Last of Us. Yep. And going forward, that would be the main character. But people are not liking the character. Right. It's not sticking. So that's why they're releasing multiple versions. Well, maybe you just didn't experience it the right way. But how about this? I'll put it in chronological order, then watch it, then you'll like her, right? No, nobody cares. Nobody wants this, right? So that's what this is. And I hope and pray this is the end of Naughty Dog for this. Because they have nothing of Intergalactic is going to be a catastrophe.
Oh yeah. The only redeeming thing even from that game, and this is only in the slightest, will be its soundtrack. Because like because 9 Inch Nails. But even then, like I love 9 Inch Nails. I love Trent Reznor. I'm wearing a 9 Inch Nails hoodie right now. He's entered that phase of his life where he's got like 5 kids and he's going to try to like save up money to put through college. I don't know why. He's just like, teach them to like, just stand on their own 2 feet and be, artistically driven, but whatever. He's been living in LA for a long time and it shows, unfortunately. And so much as I still enjoy the music, they're on tour right now. And I've been to like 9 different 9 Inch Nails concerts and How to Destroy Angels when they even toured under that label. Yeah. And I'll be honest, like, seeing these tickets, $200 for, like the 314th section, like, like all the, wait. Yeah. It's like, I can just as easily just download the recordings from the bootleg site for free. Exactly. And save myself a lot of time and effort. And so even that, like, kind of being the thing that they're going to try to draw people in with, it's like, I do love 9 Inch Nails, but I'm learning to separate the music from the man a little bit more and more with each passing year. So it's just, this is not going to be anything worth two shits to give. It's just
Yeah,
ugh. I have
sure.
no good feelings about this thing.
For sure. All right. Well, let me know what you guys think. Are you going to play The Last of Us Part 2 again in chronological order?
Right. I think maybe the reason that they're doing it is so they can push off the point to where Joel gets fucking axed. So that way, it's not so
But that happen. I think that happens at around the same point in the story. It's early on.
Right.
So
I suppose, yeah. So I
obviously
guess
Druckmann doesn't give a shit. He really wants people to be okay with them killing Joel, and does not understand why, it's people are sick and tired of
people resonated with the character, not his
they liked him.
face.
But I legitimately thought Joel was the best character in the game, in the first one.
Yeah.
So let me see. Master Goa says Beyond Two Souls originally played out of order. Later versions allowed you to play in chronological order, and it's a much better game in order. Consequences are harder to quantify when out of sequence. Actually, I do plan on playing that game, streaming that one. I have I think it's David
A Day with Ellen Page.
I have 3. Yeah, Ellen Page. Don't dead name him. But that's kind of one of the reasons, because I'm like, can this game be allowed to exist now that Ellen Page no longer exists?
I did think about buying it during the Steam sale.
We'll do it in memoriam of Ellen Page. What could have been? But I am going to be playing some David Cage games. I think in September I might do it. I'm going to do good old Heavy Rain. I'm not going to do the first game where it turned into Matrix, but Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, and Detroit Become Human Again. I want to try and get the worst possible ending in all 3 games. I don't know. But thank you for that. Danny Silver says, aesthetically, I think Intergalactic has a lot of potential. Love the idea of tech capped at the 80s, and then we went into space, but everything else has me bored. I mean, that seems like window dressing stuff. What I think is going to hurt it is going to be the actual plot and story. I think Neil Druckmann has bought into his own bullshit, and he's surrounded by sycophants that feed that to him and tell him he's a genius. And I think it's going to be his undoing. It's hubris. It's hubris. So, all right. Norwegian Black Tempo says, I'd rather get Canadian healthcare than play The Last of Us 2.
So you want to be Joel?
Yeah. Have you played Black Mesa? No. But you know what? For White Boy Summer, perhaps. I have already downloaded it. I hope it works. But I am going to be playing. I'm going to try to play and stream Half-Life, because I never played the original Half-Life, and I have Half-Life. But I'm going to play Half-Life in VR, because supposedly there's a really good VR mod for the original Half-Life. So I'm going to try that out, because I do have a VR headset and I never use it because there isn't a lot with VR, but that could be a cool way to play it. I also understand that you can play Repo in VR, so I might try that as well. Thank you. Okay, let us move on to the next story. So this was surprising. Arrowhead Game Studios and Sony confirmed that Helldivers 2, the hit co-op third-person shooter previously exclusive to the PS5 and the PC, is going to be coming to Xbox Series X and S on August 25th, 2025. This marks the first time Sony has ever voluntarily published a PlayStation Studios title on Xbox, a significant shift from its traditional exclusivity strategy, coinciding with Microsoft's release of Gears of War Reloaded on PS5 the same day. So apparently Microsoft is giving... Yeah, it's a little bit of tit for tat. The move follows strong community demand with over a year of petitions and rumors, and is expected to boost the game's already robust player base, which sold 12 million copies in 12 weeks after its February launch last year. The Xbox version will include all prior content, support crossplay with PS5 and PC, but it will not be available for Xbox Game Pass, which with standard and Super Citizen editions, priced at $39.99 and $59.99 respectively. I did not get the Super Citizen version of Helldivers because $20 for another skin is stupid. The Helldivers 2 Xbox release has sparked mixed reactions. Xbox fans are thrilled to join the fight for Super Earth, with pre-orders available immediately, while some PlayStation fans express frustration on social media, viewing the decision as diluting Sony's exclusivity edge. Arrowhead's game designer, Mikhail Eriksson, emphasized the excitement of expanding the player pool though community manager Catherine Baskin confirmed no plans for cross progression or Game Pass inclusion, disappointing some hoping for broader accessibility. Amid Microsoft's recent layoffs and game cancellations, including Perfect Dark and Everwild, the Helldivers 2 announcement offers a positive note for Xbox players, but raises questions about Sony's evolving multi-platform strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah, what were you going to say about it?
You can right now play both of these games, game series, Gears and Helldivers on Steam. So,
Yes.
and that's ultimately what this is coming down to is consoles are realizing that the future is not with them. And so, this whole idea of exclusivity, like they're going to band together to try to fight off the foe that is the juggernaut of Valve just looming in the corner, like getting ready to like eat all their fucking lunches, because it already is. And fuck consoles. I during the past few weeks of various sales that they've done, I have all but Metal Gear Solid 4 on my Steam Deck. I just need to actually find the ROM for that and get the appropriate emulator, and then I will have that one as well. And then I got gifted Death Stranding Director's Cut this last week, right before the sale ended.
Yeah, the original Death Stranding?
Yeah, the original Death Stranding. And so, I played the living shit. Like, I called myself affectionately, when the first Death Stranding came out and so many people didn't know how to do anything with it, I just fell in love with it because I understood like everything, like on the mechanics and everything like that. So I created a highway in the game that was like 90% of the highway I built, except for the one little mountain pass that I didn't learn about until I got the director's cut. But yeah, like my highway has been traveled on over 1 million. Like at the last time I checked, this was like a year ago. Like so now it's probably even more so. Yeah, like I have one of the highest interactions with other people's games of anybody that's ever done it. So now I'm like you know what? Because I'm not gonna pay for PlayStation Network, because fuck that shit. So I'm gonna start all over again. That's one of the reasons why I'm waiting for all this new tech to arrive, so I can actually start doing some game streams and get into the minutia of why Death Stranding, is more than, a lot of people are complaining about the new one, saying that it's a little too easy. But here's the thing about
Death Stranding 2?
Yeah. They're like, well, all you have to do is like make your loadout and just use the vehicles. It's like, well, yeah, but that's a choice, and that's life. Like you can take the easy road, or you can take the road less traveled, quite literally, and make those decisions. Like if you want to play it for, trying to get there as quickly as possible and this and that, sure, you can do those things. But I think that it really kind of comes down to what is it that you're trying to get out of it, and so and that says something more about you inherently than it does, like in this life, like if I want to get across town, I can take a car, I can take a bus, I can take a bike, I can just walk my happy ass there, to the individual make the decision. And this guy wrote an article this past week. I blew up on a game stream, or not a game stream, but on somebody's was streaming, and I was reading this article and I just freaked the fuck out because he's sitting there saying this game's too easy. And it's like, well, then fucking choose to make it harder, dude. Like that's a you problem, not a me problem. Like if you think that oh, all these easy options are right there from the get-go, don't take the easy road. Give yourself a little bit more difficulty. And he's talking about how you could tell he never played through the first game, because he was talking about clearing out encampments, and how that wasn't really part of the first game. It's like the whole back half of the game is going into encampments and doing the stealth or not, and but yeah, to get back on the point of what we're talking about, though, yeah, I think that the writing is on the wall for consoles, and they are just going to be service models going forward. It is what it is, and all the more reason to just invest in Steam and not have to pay for centralized authentication ports for online services.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I grew up on consoles, but I can see the writing on the wall, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is like a sign, because once when Microsoft and Sony, they basically like come together. There must have been a meeting, and they were like, okay, look, we're dying. Like we're dying out here. Exclusivity is not working. It's not going to sell consoles anymore. A lot of it has to do with things like the economy and also like the pricing. Things are getting way too expensive. People are like, well, why would I buy a console for this or that game when I could just get a PC and then like just get something like it or just get it. So they kind of I think they are on the way out.
Yep.
And that's okay. Like I had my fun. I have my consoles, and we can just play on Steam. But I will say this is a big win for Arrowhead. I'm happy for them because they're going to be doing very well. And their next project, which they have already said they have another project in the works, and it's not going to be a console exclusive project. It's going to be probably on PC primarily. And I'm excited to see. And I think it's good for Helldivers players as well. So I'm happy about this. August 26th. We're going to see an explosion of players because the Xbox people are going to get on and they're going to be new at the game. And all of the people who were playing it before that maybe they like took a break or they were doing something else are going to come back to it. It's still a blast to play. I still play it every so often, but I'm excited because it's going to mean like a lot more activity and a lot of, especially when new people jump onto something, it's always a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm hoping that there will be another Steam sale to coincide with it. Because that is not one of those games that I have on my PS5 where I'm like, God damn, I really should have got that.
Oh, you want to get the PC version? Yeah.
Yeah, I should have just got that on Steam to begin with,
Yeah.
Oh,
okay. So I'm happy about it, and I think again it's a sign of the times as well. To your word. Okay. So let me see. You guys are talking about some stuff. I think Norwegian Black Templar, most people who want games to be easy are normies who just want something to play while they shut their minds off. Yeah, I mean, I don't need games to be challenging all the time. Like, I like the challenging games that like keep me engaged, but I also like Dynasty Warriors where I just get to kill 100 guys and I'm not really thinking about it too much. It's like power fantasies can be fun as well. Danny Silver says, them being on the way out is a big reason Microsoft has said the next Xbox device is just going to be a Windows PC. The proprietary backend isn't worth the investment anymore. Yes. All right. So, thank you for that, and give us your thoughts on the release of, or the future release of Helldivers 2 on Xbox. Like I said, unheard of before, and I look forward to it. I do want to play Gears of War. Like, I really want to because I've heard so much about it, and I never played it. But I guess I have to get it on PC, right?
Yeah,
so I don't know if it's worth it, but just let me know. You guys think that would be good to check out. All right.
The first Gears was a great game. Loved the living shit out of doing the jihadi runs is what I would call them, where like you just like have the grenade in your hand, and I would do like a death roll into people and like stick grenades on and then just roll back out.
Is that in like the like the death match?
Yeah, in the death matching. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so you guys probably know that Borderlands 4 is coming out, and I guess somebody in my Discord shared the trailer for a character in this named Vex. So we're gonna find out. I'm just looking at it. So like, okay, why am I bringing this up? First of all, I love Borderlands 1 and 2. I played 3, but I didn't really enjoy it as much. I don't know what you guys think about that. But the looter shooter thing is kind of fun if you like Diablo. It's Diablo with guns, right? That's what I liked about it. But I guess it kind of overstayed its welcome. But apparently in Borderlands 3, there was a character named Flak who was a robot or a droid of some kind. And if you don't remember, there was a controversy. This character Flak was described by the devs as non-binary. And so you had to use they, them pronouns when addressing him. And I think people got banned if they didn't use the fictional android's appropriate pronouns. So that was crazy.
Yeah.
And apparently they may have doubled down on that with Borderlands 4.
Oh,
so let's take a look. This is a character named Vex. This may have copyright music or something. So I'm gonna lower this a little. Raining for Death. I've never seen this before. So
Oh, take that.
And it's a shame because Borderlands has a cool aesthetic and setting, but I think they got like
They own themselves, I think.
Hey.
You know, I got Borderlands 2 when it was free a couple weeks back.
It was okay.
When they were trying to
meet you was
you know,
way better.
get a little bit of good press.
Yeah.
And then during the Steam sale, I think you could get Borderlands 3 for under $10. And I was just like, fuck that shit. Like, they got a whole DLC and there's this gay wedding. Like,
yeah.
I don't need any of that. You know.
Okay, they're playing like a little cinematic. I didn't really know this, but what is going on? Oh, it's a sale.
I've never worked counter in a sale. I don't know what to do.
Keep pushing the warranties.
Okay.
Reminds me of the last time I worked the sales floor on a Black Friday. Like, a long ass time ago. Nearly 20 years ago almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the doors opened up and the news happened to be there. And I worked in the PC department at that point in time, and I said, it's fucking zombie apocalypse in here. While they were broadcasting live, and shortly thereafter, that's when they moved me over to being the inventory manager. So like, John, maybe you don't need to be at the sales floor anymore. I was like, you're right, I don't. Just let me go hang out with boxes and unload trucks.
Wait, she's exploding people with. Okay, so she's a siren or one of the sirens.
Evidently.
Oh, even that guy? He wasn't even being mean. Okay.
That really happened. You just got magic siren powers out of nowhere? Yeah, pretty much.
So you became a vault hunter to get away from this store.
More or less.
And now you are here on this forgotten world, battling terrible creatures.
The girl who's the key to everything.
Yeah.
Still better than retail.
No, yes, absolutely.
Eh.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Borderlands franchise isn't. I don't think it's the same as it used to be.
No. It's an empty fucking IP. It's just a brand.
They're
label.
just trying to like the thing is like they peaked with the second one. So yeah, it's just kind of unfortunately.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. I mean, there's really not even really much else to say.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I didn't know what.
Right.
I don't know what I was expecting.
No, it's all right. I mean, it's just like it's like a guy who had like a whole bunch of records in football. Now in like, you know, his middle age, just kind of like trying to get by on stuff that doesn't even have any benefit to his current situation. Yeah.
Gabriel says 000% gameplay. Well, we know what the gameplay is going to be. It's going to be the same. It's going to be first person. I mean, like I said, I like the first two games just fine. I got like the collection. I think it was like the first two games and all the DLC. But yeah, I haven't really I don't know. It's not like something I've been craving to play. So
Right.
Anyway, yeah, let me know what you guys think. Are you interested in Borderlands 4? I assume not, but it's worth asking. Okay, so let's see. Let me move on to the next. There was something else I wanted to show off. Actually, I see some comments, and it just got me thinking about this. So I want to put it the official teaser on Netflix. Up. Hold on a second. I want to show this off, but yeah. All right. So I got some comments here I want to read really quick. Master Goa says Borderlands 4 will probably be garbage, but sadly there aren't enough looter shooters, so there isn't a clear game of similar ilk. Choose over it if that's what you really want. I think, yeah, I mean that's true. Like, you know, there are some games that they didn't do well, and I'm kind of sad because I actually really enjoyed them. Like Remnant, I think it's called Remnant. And I liked the first Remnant. I played the shit out of it. It was basically Dark Souls with guns, and not really as hard as people say. And it had multiplayer. It was a lot of fun. And they made a Remnant 2, and I never picked it up, but I put it on my wish list. And I don't. Nobody talks about it anymore, which is kind of sad because it's a good game. I like the first one a lot. I don't know about the second one. So it's kind of like Dragon's Dogma. It came out at a bad time, you know. Right. Okay. Master Goa says, honestly, I played Cyberpunk 2077 like it was Borderlands, literally killing everyone to loot their guns. If not for the decent amount of guns in Cyberpunk 2077, I probably would have put it down. Yeah, except that a lot of the guns are trash that you pick up from the people you kill. But it's okay. I like Cyberpunk 2077. To be honest, it's a game that if it was launched, if it didn't have such a spectacularly awful launch, it'd probably be doing really well. And I think that CD Projekt Red made a mistake in thinking that people would just eat up whatever they put out there. So without like question, because of the success of the Witcher games. Danny Silvers earlier said, the only console left is the Switch 2. Everything else is budget gaming PC.
Yeah,
Nintendo still has that exclusivity that is unique to itself.
And the way that they're run, you know, EA for hardware now is just oof. Yeah. That's what I mean. It's like there are no heroes in the console space at this point in time, and so they're all either just going to have to band together or
except for the Steam Deck.
Right. Well,
Dave is the only one. He is the chosen one.
Right, but I don't even know, like, because like for me, because I do, you know, I'm streaming right now on my Steam Deck. I don't even think of it so much as a console. It is, you know, I guess a hybrid in the sense that, but to me, it's just like it's the modern interpretation of a laptop. You know, and so I still even I just think of this as it actually is. It's a Linux-based PC that has, you know, like a stripped-down overlay that you can use to get right into the gaming part of it and not have to worry about the desktop back end. But ultimately, you know, if anything, it's kind of like it's a way to dip your toes in the water of getting used to how Linux works, and it presents itself very similar to the Windows OS. And so to me, like that's kind of like almost the Trojan horse. It presents itself kind of as a console, but it's actually, you know, just one of the most versatile Linux-based PCs that you can just have at your disposal and just take with you wherever you want to go. So, but yeah, I guess
I think that's where it's going. Like, I think most people that they game on their computers or their phones or laptops. So that they're like the idea of a console is going away. Like even I game because like one of the only reasons why I would game on a console is because I want to sit on the couch in front of my TV. I think there's nothing like playing games like that. But even then, I can still do that. I just use a program called Sunshine, and it lets you essentially remote play your PC games on your TV using your Amazon Fire Stick. And it's a bit of a
Sunshine and Moonlight.
Sunshine and Moonlight, exactly. Yeah, Sunshine and Moonlight. That's what I use. Yep. And I think that for me, that's basically the only issue with that is you can't play couch co-op stuff with somebody else because it only will let me connect one controller at a time. Right. I still think that it doesn't matter. Like, it still works. So
yeah.
All right. Anyway, let us know what you guys think about that one. I want to show off something else. Speaking of,
you can actually even, oddly enough, this is one of my first Awesome Deck videos series that I made. I was using Moonlight. So I was using Moonlight and remote play within my laptop. So I was using my Steam Deck to get into my laptop, and then my laptop had a remote play to my PS5, and I was literally before anybody else was doing it.
Yes, you can do that too. Yeah.
Yeah, you can play your PS5 games through your Steam Deck. And I Yeah,
Although
and
remote play has a little bit of a lag to it because
it does, but like the proof of concept was there. So yeah, I did like this whole video series where and if you're using a hardwired internet connection, so like say like you're like across the country, and you're wherever you're staying at, as long as you're not using Wi-Fi, it's actually fairly stable enough to do all the things. Like I actually have a video in there where I'm playing Death Stranding in Colorado, 500 miles away from where my PC or my PS5 is hooked in and everything, and like it, and it works. I even literally called the video PlayStation, or I called it the PlayStation Portal a bull. So, and I did that even before they even announced the PlayStation Portal. So like I tell everybody how the design structure works for what would become the PlayStation Portal and all this kind of stuff, because it's just like, it's an authentication process.
Yep.
And so yeah, like which would be another reason why I would tell anybody, like, if you're thinking about getting a PlayStation Portal, just get a Steam Deck.
Yeah.
You can do everything with it and so much more. So yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I should get my paycheck from Valve like any day now.
Yeah. So if you guys, we're talking a little bit about anime. It's related to Cyberpunk 2077. So I saw the comment. I was going to bring this up. So there was a series on Netflix. It was called Cyberpunk Edge Runners, and it was an anime based in the same world as Cyberpunk 2077. And one of the things that was kind of interesting about it was in the game, they released an update that had a bunch of content that coincided with Edge Runners. It's like they're building like a brand, right? But the brand is good though. Like the anime was a good story. A lot of people liked it, and it did get a lot of people playing Cyberpunk 2077. It was a way, because like, here's what I think. Okay, so like CD Projekt Red dropped the ball on the launch of the game. It had a lot of problems when it came out, but over time they fixed almost all of those issues, and they gave us a big 2.0 update, which made tons of massive improvements on the game, and it was a free update before even the launch of the DLC, which was Phantom Liberty. But now that they've like addressed all of the problems of the launch, which took about a year and some change, they were like, well, how do we get people into the game that we have just reinvested a bunch of resources, time, effort, and money into? Well, they had to make something of a brand out of it, which I think I think it makes sense that you would do that. It's like saying, we're sorry, we fucked this up. Here's a bunch of stuff. Helldivers did the same thing, right? They had like some issues with the game being blocked in certain countries, all this stuff. And a lot of it wasn't even in Arrowhead's control,
right? But
they still felt like they should take some initiative in addressing and fixing it. So they released a bunch of stuff. Even with the Killzone stuff, they basically gave you free stuff in Killzone and all that. So this was a smart thing for them to do to try to like make amends, because sometimes that stuff happens. CDPR sold their souls to ESG. Yeah. Again, yes, I agree that they made some mistakes. But one of the things that they tied in to Cyberpunk was the Cyberpunk brand is this Edge Runners anime. Now, the first season, or the first story, which is sort of like a complete story, was very well done. It was very good. And it was like, it basically like was a throwback to old anime of that, because a lot of anime has a cyberpunk aesthetic to it, right? Like Ghost in the Shell, or if you liked Akira or Cyber City 0808, I think it was called. And there's a lot of others. The Bubblegum Crisis, I don't know if you guys can name any like great cyberpunk anime from like the 80s. That's what I'm kind of reaching back to.
Akira, of course.
What was it?
Akira.
Akira. Yeah, Akira. Yeah, Akira is a good one that everybody knows. And I know there's more. Dominion Tank Police, a lot of Masamune Shiro stuff. So this kind of had that feel. And of course, they had like some good people on the team. The animation is really good. And they integrated it into the story of the game. Cyber City 0808. Yes, that's the one I was trying to think of. And so like they're releasing a second season. They're calling it Edge Runners 2, but because of what happens in the first one, this is likely going to be centered on new characters. I'll show you all. Yes, Edge Runners saved Cyberpunk. Yes,
Yeah.
CDPR wanted Studio Trigger to alter Rebecca. Trigger said no. Green-haired gun gremlin is best girl. And you can get her gun in Cyberpunk 2077. That's what I mean, like the integrate. I picked up the gun. It's like a big shotgun. It's the same colors and everything. But let's look at the trailer for Edge Runners 2. This is what I wanted to do. And it's the same world, even the maps. There's even places in the anime that you can go to in the game, and you'll see those places. You can even find David's, like there's like a place where it's like a, what am I trying to say? It's like a cemetery. What was that?
I was going to say, the thing I really appreciate about this is it puts the focus back on Night City as actually being the main character of the story. You know, there's stories within Night City, but Night City itself is, you know, the main thing.
Yeah. The only unfortunate thing about this is Netflix's involvement, but it's like they kind of run things. So Serial Experiments Lane, yeah. I never saw that one, but I wanted to watch that.
The other good thing that comes from this, though, is there is actually talk now because, you know, the whole thing with CDPR bungling everything and having to spend so much time trying to fix their problem. What was supposed to be 2 expansions became, oh, well, we'll just do the 1 expansion. But, you know, you can't argue with money, you know? And so there is now talk about, like, with this new Edge Runners 2 project coming out, that there will actually be at least a DLC, if not some kind of
there's rumors about a DLC. There's definitely going to be an update. They're calling it 2.3, I think. And it's supposed to, there's a lot of speculation on what that's going to entail. I own Cyberpunk 2077, so I'll see what it is, if it's an update or if it's a DLC. But from what I heard about Phantom Liberty, which I haven't finished yet, that's one of the things I want to be able to stream the Phantom Liberty DLC. I actually have 3 different game files, one with a different origin. So I have a Corpo, Street Kid, and Nomad. And they're all different in terms of their build too, like a net runner one, or at least like a lot of net running, which is extremely powerful in this game. Like it's basically easy mode, but it's good if you want a power fantasy. A ninja build, which is also very strong, and like a guy that's just like super strong, like a strength build.
I actually recreated myself with this, you know, like dark short side.
You made
yourself. Yeah. Like it is 110%. Like you're like, holy shit! Like that looks like me. Like same expressions on my face and everything. Like it is. Yeah. I mean, in terms of that, being able to play through you know, Cyberpunk 2077. I got through the first game, played through again with like an evil corpo bitch.
What did you? I have an evil corpo bitch. What ending? What ending did you get? The first.
Well, the first time I went through as a wanderer, and so I've gotten multiple, and like the first time I went through, I actually got to where like you leave the city. And
I left with the Nomads.
You end up with the mansion, and then I played it through again. You know, at a certain junction point to where it was like I went to the moon station, and like, and that's just.
Is that the one where you upload your consciousness to the?
Pretty much. Well, like pretty much. Like you end up giving yourself over, so that they can, you know, help you live. Yeah, and your life is pretty much just you're stuck in prison. And once you get there, they're like, "Oh yeah, so you're still gonna die," and you've kind of just fucked yourself.
A lot of those endings are they. That's the reason why I left with the Nomads was because I was worried about the other endings. Like, basically
there is no good ending. There is
weird
no
transhumanist thing, and I'm like, no, please, I'd rather die. Like, I think there's an ending where you die, but like I'd rather just that, you know.
There is no happy endings in Night City.
No. Well, Leaving the Nomads is the most. I think it's
right. But even within that, and I think that's kind of the thing, though, is like ultimately the story is like it's a dystopian future hellscape, you know, and like if you are living in Night City, humanity has lost, you know, like is ultimately the takeaway. Like this is a nice place to visit as a work of fiction. let's do everything we can to make sure it doesn't become a reality.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
but
Norwegian Black Templar says John should play around with the Oblivion character creator. John Carpenter has nothing on the creations that came out of that.
oh, right.
That's funny you should say that. Like, I've been playing Dragon's Dogma 2. I made Father Moses McPherson because he's like the most feared like priest ever, and I think it turned out pretty well. On there, I like character creators when I can just make like actual people. Like I think for Elden Ring, I made Giga Chad, but I think I want to make Kanye West in one just to see how people react. I want to see if I can pull that off. But anyway, yeah. So there will be an update around the time of Edge Runners 2, and there may also be DLC. But from what I understand, Phantom Liberty is like crazy award winning. Like everybody loved it. Idris Elba is basically all over it too. So if you like Idris Elba, there you go. But okay, with that said, I'm going to get into a couple of last stories here. And I think we're going to end it. So this is old, but I think it's worth bringing up because it does relate to entertainment, obviously. So Michael Madsen, pictured here, passed away. He was known for his tough guy roles in Quentin Tarantino's Reservoir Dogs and Kill Bill. And supposedly he died of cardiac arrest on July 3rd at his Malibu home Malibu. So his sister, Virginia Madsen, mourned his loss, describing him as thunder and velvet, while colleagues like Vivica Fox praised his on-screen presence. Okay, so I love Reservoir Dogs, and I like Mr. Blonde, so that was it was kind of a blow. I mean, I don't know. What do you think about the passing of Michael Madsen? Supposedly just a heart attack. He was a heavy drinker, but he was a father that was involved with all of his kids. He had a lot of kids. So
yeah, no, it's an unfortunate thing. I can't say that I've really kept up with like a lot of movies in recent years, but like Reservoir Dogs, it is certainly something that I've got multiple versions that I've picked up throughout the years, from when it was first on DVD to going on Blu-ray.
Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah. And I mean, like this scene alone, like, I mean, Stuck in the Middle with You. Like, I just, like as soon as like I cannot listen to that song anymore without like thinking about like.
Oh, of course, no, yeah. Like I Steelers Wheel, I have it on my playlist, and every time I hear it, I immediately think of this movie. That's one thing that Tarantino's good at. I think he's a little hacky, but that he is good at creating scenes where you associate music with something that's happening, something from his films. Like that, the Miserlou, which is the beach. It was like beach rock. That song Miserlou that existed way back in the '60s. That was done by Dick Dale and the Deltones. It's a great song, but no one hears that song and thinks of anything but Pulp Fiction's opening or the trailers. Like that's it. Like that's what it is now. Even what's the name of that band that band with will.i.am? Can't remember the name of the band, but they even like used it in one of their songs. They were sampling that, but they weren't sampling it because of Dick Dale. They were sampling it because of Pulp Fiction.
The Fugees?
The Fugees. Yeah, the Fugees. Thank you. I was on the tip of my tongue. Is it the Fugees?
I think so.
No, wait. Is that the one with Lauryn Hill? I think the Fugees is Lauryn Hill. Nonetheless, doesn't matter. Yeah. Gabriel says, also Madsen was in a game too. And that was a game that I think would cause a big controversy with Kirsha, right? Rockay City. It's an FPS with Madsen as the player character and other 80s, 90s celebrities. Yeah, I believe that Chuck Norris is in that game as well. I don't know how. Black Eyed Peas, thank you, is Black Eyed Peas.
Yes.
The Fugees is Lauryn Hill, yes.
Yeah.
But I understand the confusion because I thought the same thing. So what is Rockay City about? And why did Kirsha get in trouble again? It was because of like she was looking in the bridge and whatnot, and I guess she lost the sponsorship deal with them.
I think so.
The only person promoting that game too.
Yeah, I think it had something to do with that. I can't say I'm definitely too familiar, but I do remember there was like a whole thing about her getting sponsorship. Yeah.
I don't remember it that much. White Boy Summer canceled Madsen's life subscription. Sad. It's dumb as fuck, but fun. Oh, okay, well, that's cool. Yeah, it was giving Payday vibes to me, so which I like Payday. So. All right, but anyway, so and then like literally like around the exact same time, and I thought this was crazy too. Julian McMahon passed away, and I mean he's lesser known, but he was on a show called Nip Tuck. I guess about plastic surgeons.
Yep.
Never saw it. And,
all right, watch a few episodes here and there.
Yeah, I don't know what the appeal of something like that would be. Is it like Mad Men but with plastic surgery?
Kind of, yeah. That and like chicks with really big boobs.
Oh, okay. There's a lot of boobs in it. That makes sense. And yeah, he succumbed to cancer. So he had cancer, which he was fighting privately, and it was like right around the exact same time. And he also, and it's why I chose this picture, is that like Julian McMahon he played Dr. Doom in the old Fantastic Four movie, which is starting to look more and more appealing to me, like compared to what's coming with like what Marvel has planned for Dr. Doom and the Fantastic Four. It just doesn't look good. Like it just does not. But yeah, it was the Vice writer controversy, Anna Valens. Yes, and anal violence. That's right. That was the thing with that thing. So yeah, I mean, it's a shame. Again, sad. Some people have speculated about what caused Michael Madsen's heart attack. I think that's fair. I hope that's not what it is, but it could be. But again, he was a heavy drinker, so. But I don't know. Like that tends to do more damage to your liver than anything else. Right. You do that, so. Okay, so let me see here. I got a couple more comments. Master Goa says, my problem with 2077 is how little action happens in the cyber world. It's mostly just real world violence, not enough hacking and black ice. A good portion of the game should be cyber, but it's not.
Right.
Yeah, so like in the tabletop game, that's a good point that you bring up. In the tabletop game, which I've run for years, and I still have the books like on the shelf behind me here. There's whole like sections dedicated to net running. The game doesn't really have that, and you're right. I wish they did. I think that would have made a big difference. I guess it's a bit of a mixed bag because when you play the tabletop game and you have a net runner in your party, okay, when the net runner wants to do the net running thing, everybody else has to wait while they do it. So you basically pull everyone else out of the game while the net runner is doing this, and it's like it's got its own system, it's got its own way of doing things, and I think that CD Projekt Red saw that. And if they had put that in the game, it would have been more true to what Cyberpunk was. But at the same time, I think it might have also run the risk of making net running so appealing that no one would do anything else because you're literally missing out on content if you're not net running.
Right.
So you would have, like, everyone would want to be a net runner, right? It's like a game design thing. If there's like a whole swath of content that is only for people who did net running, then everyone's going to be net running because they want to do the additional content, which is fair because they paid for the content. So the only other way you could do it is you would have to essentially create content that is exclusive for every archetype or every archetype that you make. So if you're a nomad, maybe there are sections that involve driving and vehicle combat that you won't get access to if you're not a nomad, right? Or if if you play a corpo, maybe there's like, gameplay segments where you're in places where other people can't get to because they're not corpos that you would have to have extra content for every type to fit. And I think you could do that, but it would make the game really big.
I think hopefully this next title that they're working on within the Cyberpunk
we'll do
space
that.
will do stuff more like that. I think that this was just kind of an onboarding game to some degree for 2077 because like they do reference the net running being this thing that takes people out of their own livelihood within the game. Like you constantly see people that are just laying in chairs, and it's like you can kill them while they're net running because there's no defense there. So yeah, I would like to see a part of the game that does get into that a little bit more. But it very well could just preoccupy a lot of people, because that's kind of like the whole draw to it in the world space, is that the world is such a shithole that people just escape to the net and just live the rest of their life there if they can, so but yeah, it'll be interesting. Hopefully they will include more of those aspects in the future game.
Norwegian Black Templar says Disney has become the franchise killer of Hollywood. It saw EA boasting and said, "Hold my money stack." Hold my Scrooge McDuck ball.
right.
Master Goa says everyone has cancer to some degree because everything gives you cancer. I just don't think about it and live or try to. Well, I've already had cancer and I'm good, thank you. Going back, Gabriel Phelan Lucas made a recommendation. He said Texnoliz is also made by the same people as Lane, which is Serial Experiments Lane. Lane is a masterpiece, so is Technolize. I'll have to look that one up. I never heard of Technolize, but I've been wanting some decent anime. I don't normally watch a lot of anime, especially now because it's all like moe cutesy shit and like slice of life stuff. Not into it. I'll give me like JoJo and Hokuto Ken anytime, any day of the week. But I will look into that because I do like a good cyberpunk anime as well. So, all right. So let's do a little bit of cake. I don't have a lot of time, but there is a game I want to show. Technolize. Oh, okay. Thank you for telling me that. There's a game that I heard good things about called Blood Message, and this is coming out of China, but I think that we have to like wrestle with the fact that China is doing what the West is not willing to do. We should basically say that this is what we want as Western gamers. I've heard very good things about Blood Message. It's not as fantastical as Black Myth Wukong, which by the way is on sale, but I haven't gotten it yet. I haven't decided if I want to do that. But it is like a story about a father and son, and that's why I think it's appealing to people. Again, something that America or the West doesn't want to do in general.
But capable fathers? No.
I know. Fathers. Oh, I should share this tab, right? Fathers that love their children and will fight for them. Well, you know what I really want? I really want Hong Kong to like separate itself from China again. Because when Hong Kong was under the English, they were making some really great cultural content.
Right.
Really great. This looks a little bit like Ghost of Tsushima, but Chinese. That's the vibe I get from it.
Well, we certainly need something in that regard, because it's not this Ghost of Yate.
I don't know what people were expecting out of that. I knew it was over. I knew it
Erika
was
Ishii is cancer on your game projects. There's no good that can come. Erika Ishii.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. If she's involved in the game, do not. Yeah. No buys.
This is more brutality. I get it. It's, and it's based in some historical thing that happened in China as well.
Right. That's pretty good.
That looks good. Yeah. See, this is all gameplay supposedly. It looks like it's got like intermixed with
QuickTime elements,
maybe QuickTime events or cinematics, like
right.
Whatever. But this is where I think he learns to fight from this guy, which I'll take it.
Yeah.
Needs more Crouching Tiger wire work. Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's not supposed to be. Like, there's like Wu Chang Feathers and Black Myth Wukong and Phantom Blade Zero. Those are all the wire work ones. This is a little more like I said, it's more grounded. It's got like a Last of Us you know, tone like the original Last of Us.
Yeah.
没有我的帮助，你走不出这片沙漠。
Oh wow, a beautiful Asian woman in a
Yeah,
video
beautiful
game.
woman, right?
That's not allowed.
Interesting too is that like you know, Buddhism came from India, right? That like the origins of it. What Journey to the West is about. I don't know. I don't really know for sure, but that's what I think. I think Buddhism came from India.
如果神不肯拯救我们的部族，那就让我来。
Again, there's no reason why Western devs couldn't give us stuff like this. Like,
Yeah.
Buddhism never took off in India. Okay.
I mean, the closest we've gotten to a story about a capable father recently actually is Death Stranding, which that article that I was talking about that I was getting pissed off about.
Yeah.
It was the writer was saying that Sam seems to be too willing to use guns in Death Stranding too. It's like, well, yeah, he's a dad. He's taking care of his kid. You know, like, and you know, that's kind of like people will make sacrifices for their children, and like if you fuck with them, they will, you know, fuck you back harder. You know, so. But this looks good.
It does.
That's a nice big old piece of cake right there.
That's a pretty good, good sized piece of cake. Danny Silver says, yes, Siddhartha was an Indian prince. Yeah, that's like, I don't claim in any way to be an expert on that, but when you see like Chinese people with like they got kind of like Indian, you know, trappings, like that woman with the third eye and stuff, that just tells you like there is that link. I mean, they're neighbors basically. So how would it not have an effect? Master Goa says India wants to claim Buddhism because Tibet is disputed by China, right? One more thing I wanted to show off, and then we can end the show. So far, everything is very stable. No crashes, no technical problems. I'm very happy.
Yeah.
What was the game I wanted to look at now that I'm thinking about it? There was one more thing, and for some reason, I'm failing to think of it. I had it in my head when I was looking at this, but that's okay. Maybe it's better that I don't try to remember. So never mind. Sorry, guys. I forgot what it was.
All right. Well, maybe we'll remember for next week. But you know, we're actually we'll actually
wrap it up
finish on time for once.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll wrap it up here. So, thanks guys for coming on the show, and you know, checking out these stories, these cultural stories. I'm glad I could bring this to you. I really like doing this kind of thing and talking about. Yes, it's dementia. Yes, because I'm old. But let me know what you guys think about everything we covered on the show today. I was going to talk about Superman, but I don't really have time to get into that right now. Maybe next week.
Maybe next week. We'll see how it drops off, because I've got thoughts.
See how the sales go and stuff. Yeah. But I do have some thoughts on Superman. But based on what I know anyway. Yeah. But anyway,
we'll look for that to next week. Like I say.
Yep.
Like,
so, John, go ahead and tell people what you're going to be doing and where they're going to
so it is Saturday this evening over on Will of the Fans Discord after Saturday Night Hypnosis. We will be watching episodes 5 and 6 of Red Dwarf, so we can do a review of it tomorrow on his channel. I'm trying to convince him that we need to change the name of the show for Sundays to Time and Red Dwarf in Space, because yes, TARDIS. Because we used to do Who TF, which became Who TF Cares due to the Shooty Gatwa era. But yeah, that of course will be tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific. I'm there throughout the week on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. And then, of course, tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, I will be hanging out with Toasty She is going to be doing a cosplay stream, a bikini cosplay stream as Velma from Scooby-Doo, so that'll be fun times. And I'm
Has she
with
done
her.
Eve yet from Cellarblade?
Not yet. I will have to. We'll have to.
She's got to get a wig.
Well, I mean, she has plenty of wigs. Like that's her thing, because she doesn't. Cause she shaves her head. Yeah. But I'll mention that one to her. Maybe because like she's doing this whole summer shape up kind of project, because she ultimately wants to. We've already kind of converted over to just doing just bikini streams right from the get go, because it's like, what's wrong? Nothing wrong with like enjoying with boobas, So we just go straight out of the gate nowadays doing that. And I'm on her show with her as her producer / co-host Sundays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, always starting at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. And then, of course, I'm back here with you again next Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern. 8 a.m. Pacific.
Sorry, I don't have the same kinds of boobs.
That's okay. That's okay. You know what? Neither do people are constantly trying to get me to get incorporated with the whole thing too, and it's just like no. Toasty is the jelly here. Clearly, I'm the peanut butter. We make a nice sandwich, but never try to make one do the other. It wouldn't be right, and we would lose a lot of viewership. But yeah, other than that though, thanks everybody. We enjoy having you here, especially people who joined in Rumble. We're up to 18 people right now during the show, which is always great. We love to bolster the numbers for the Rumble Revolution.
There we go.
So yes, please do like, share, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff to Honey Badger Arcade, and it's great having you all here. And of course, always a pleasure to do the show with you. With that said, though, safe travels ahead. Y'all have a wonderful weekend going forward, and of course, be awesome as always.
Okay, well, if you guys like this video, please hit like, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, hit the bell for notifications, leave us a comment, let us know what you guys think about what we discussed in the show today, and please share this video, because sharing is caring. Thank you guys so much for coming on today's episode of The Week in Culture, and we'll talk to you guys in the next one. Long live Vivian. And lastly, I got rid of the end video with the most oppressed group of all gamers and all that. I don't know if you guys like that or not. I'm just keeping these a little bit shorter, a little bit tighter. So the intro and the endings are cut short. So I don't know what you guys think about that, but let me know. Give me your thoughts. Otherwise, talk to you guys later.
With the glass ceiling broken, all the oppressed groups shall prosper, especially the most...
Okay, wait, it does have that. I thought I got rid of it, but apparently it's there. So, all right, never mind. See you guys later.
With the glass ceiling broken, all the oppressed groups shall prosper, especially the most oppressed group of all, gamers.
I want people in the industry to be a little bit louder about people being mean to other people, and maybe say it's not a good thing.
Yeah.
Maybe say, we don't want you around if you're going to be a cunt.
Yeah.
And hateful. And that the games industry is diverse naturally. Not because anyone's making them be diverse. Because the world is diverse, you stupid motherfucker. And if you have a problem with that, come fight me. Physically. Bitch.
Has anyone taken you up on that yet?
No, because they're all pussies.
Yep.
Down here, salt is a way of life.
Obviously, the environment down here is all salt. The ceiling's salt, the floor is salt, the walls are salt, and to an extent, the air is salt. And you breathe that in, and you can constantly taste the salt.